Welcome everybody. You should see this contraption in front of me. Last week it was just a phone, now it's a whole camera, lights, and I feel like I'm having my own television show. I have to thank Kim for all that she does to make it work. And I'm also quite impressed that we have so many, what do you call it? People that have seen it. It seems to be quite a big number, much more than I expected. So we're going to continue with the second class in this lockdown, and I hope you're feeling as well as I do. I absolutely love the spaciousness, and the beautiful mountain view and the sunbird. Anyway, we're going to breathe deeply. Feel you're sitting up straight, comfortably up straight. Grounding your sitting bones, and perhaps before we start, get all the things you may need. You may need some pillows, you may need a towel, you may need anything else that you think. I don't think you need a belt, but just those kind of things that you can elevate, you sit a bit higher. You know how I like you to have your knees below your hips, and particularly if you have a hip that's a bit stiff. And mine are not that stiff, it actually feels much better. So get everything ready now, and then once you're centered, begin to breathe, perhaps close your eyes, sit up straight without being rigid, and feel the breath moving into the belly, into your chest, into the side of your ribs, the back of your throat. Slight resistance at the back of your throat, and keep it flowing naturally, as if you're breathing for the first time. Giving it your full attention. Expanding and contracting. Arrive inside that energy flow of the breath within your body. Connect with it. Literally slowing down. Engage your belly, ribs, back of your throat, feel it at your nostrils. Do it another 5 times mindfully in your own tempo. Becoming aware of that life force that informs you, always. Okay, so now that we have arrived and become aware of the energy, I'm actually going to try and give you a bit of a different breath than what you're used to. It's supposed to be a breath that increases your lung capacity. And I prefer to sit like this. Some of you might want to sit with a phone or a book between you, or sit cross-legged and cross your legs the other way around. And I'll talk you through it. And try not to strain. I'm going to do 3 different energizing breaths, which, as I said, is supposed to increase your lung capacity and get the energies moving a little bit. So the first one, you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now you can see as I breathe out, my belly goes back. You can close your eyes if you like. Now before we go a bit further, I just need to tell you how it ends. It's difficult to say when we're actually in it, but that's where we start. In through your nose, out through your mouth, contracting the tummy back. Once we've done it for a while, not too long, but a fair amount of time, we're going to hold the breath, breathe in through your nose, hold the breath, slightly contracting the perineum or your pelvic floor, so that the energy the breath can't leak out through that, and then you focus on the point between your eyebrows. And you hold, some of you will be able to hold it right long, some of you not, so in the moment you become uncomfortable, you breathe out. So let's start again. In through your nose, out through your mouth, pulling the tummy back, not the other way around. So always as the breath comes out, you contract. As you're breathing in, you expand. hold it. Contract the perineum. Focus on the point between your eyebrows. Pause and feel the build-up. And if you need to breathe out, breathe out. Take a few breaths in between and feel already the difference in your body. I can feel the energy tingling in the whole of my body. It's quite a powerful one. So just come back to base. And for the next one, you may want a tissue. Sorry, I should have asked you for a tissue. But I needed a tissue, so I'm going to just do that before. Because now we're going to breathe in through the mouth, as you probably have already figured out, and out through your nose. And it looks a bit strange, so maybe don't look. Keep your eyes closed. It feels a little bit like a frog that is coming up for air and is a little bit needing more. So as you breathe out again, your tummy in, not the other way around. So it's the most important instruction. It doesn't have to be very hard. So it's in through your mouth, out through your nose. In, through your nose again, hold, contract the perineum, drop your shoulders, focus on the point between your eyebrows. And breathe out. Release the tension in your body. Take a few breaths in between. Make sure you become totally comfortable before we're going to do a final one, which is a little bit of a brain gym. Feel how your energy is shifting. I feel mine really shifting quite profoundly. And this is one you could do every day, even without yoga, just to shift your energy. Increase your lung capacity. And as you do such a breath, you really can't focus on anything else. So if you're anxious, fearful, it just removes everything for the period at least that you do so. Your body has changed and you come back to it. And just take a few more comfortable breaths. Whole body awareness. feeling the effect in your brain, your trunk. And if your feet are beginning to hurt, change your position. Now you can probably imagine what the next one is. And I found it quite difficult. I haven't practiced it too much, so just all try what you can the first time that you do it. You might do it again at another stage. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your mouth, and then out through your nose. So remember that as you breathe out, your tummy goes in. As you breathe in, the tummy can go out again. So it's a bit complicated. See, I did it wrong now. So watch you go in as you breathe out. Two more. Breathe in through your nose. Contract the perineum. Not too hard, but you can not allow it to leak energy. Focus on the point between your eyebrows. Hold. Feel the build up. Breathe out if you need to, hold if you can. And then let go. And take a few normal yoga breaths. Feel how your energy has shifted. Maybe this first one, when you do this 3-part breath, it's a bit like mapping it. And if you do it more often, I already feel that it really changes your whole energy flow. And you forget to remember that we are as much energy as you are material. So it's a quite good way to start. Now you may want to sit on your foam again. If you get tired of sitting on your heels, you can stay as you are. Cross your legs, or if you have a knee problem, sit with your legs straight. You're going to just loosely place your fingertips on your shoulders, ground your sitting bones, bring your elbows together, up, as far up and as far back as you can. So you're simply linking your trunk, your armpits, your shoulders, your arms, your fingers. You're opening that thoracic region, your heart lung region. You're bringing more movement in your back. Just do that mindfully a few more times. No forcing. And then change direction. Whole body awareness. Smooth journey. It's great as your breath, breathing in, come up, breathing out, come down. 3 more times. And now you've sort of opened up into our arms, into our fingers, into our wrists. And I want you to continue that journey by reaching into your fingers, dropping your shoulders, not dropping your head forward, ground your sitting bones. And extend so that your elbows become as straight as possible, you're centered. And then flex your hands. I like to imagine that I have moving doors, those automatic doors, and I simply keep them at bay. And once I've kept them at bay, they'll stay there. So push out, ground your sitting bones, drop your shoulders. And as you've done it many times, most of you, turn your fingers back, keep the rotation maybe right into your shoulders, feel it in your fingertips, come back, keep that extension, and do it the other way around. Once again, without dropping your head forward, really push into your palms, bring your fingers which are spread inwards, the other way around. Moving right into your shoulders, right into the elbows, perhaps right into your neck. I can feel it beginning to move right towards my neck. One more time. Extend. Your shoulder blades will come down now. Armpits will go down more. So it affects a larger aspect of your upper trunk. And release. Just take a breath, drop your shoulders and feel. You're doing some neck stretches, simple ones. It's usually the side of your body, of your neck, that's quite tight, and if you're sitting at home and doing all that, it will be tight. So keep your elbows in, sit in a position that's comfortable for you, and slowly keeping the spine long, your abdominals slightly pulled in, but slightly. Take your right ear to your right shoulder, so there's no rotation. Simply take your right ear to your right shoulder. You're not leaning. You keep your spine long, you keep your armpits down. And as you do so, I can feel that I begin to stretch that part of your body. So now, as you focus on that area and breathe into it, imagine that you're loosening that contraction of the scalenes, which insert in 3 different parts of your skull and in the upper ribs. They tend to be tight. Back up. I'm going to do the other way around. Stay centered, don't rotate your head. Imagine you take your left ear to your left shoulder, but keep your shoulder down and feel it now on the right side. Take your awareness to that right part of your neck that moves into the shoulder. Feel those, for most of you, you'll feel those muscles tightening. Breathe into it where you take your attention, energy flows. Whole body awareness, breathe into the belly, natural breath. I'm going to do that again. This time you're going to imagine when you come into that position, and I feel already you can go slightly easier into the position. You extend through the crown of your head upwards. So it's like you take your energy, push up through the crown. You keep that left shoulder down, and you will increase the stretch simply using your imagination that way. Come back, and then one more time to the left. Extend through the crown, center your trunk, keep it long, try not to collapse in your waist. Whole body awareness, without throwing your chin back. Extend into that diagonal line above your crown on the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Release. I'm going to do a neck twist with the whole of your body. So you bring your right, now let's do the left foot either beyond your knee or above it, whichever comes natural. So it's on the outside, you sit flat in your sitting bones. And you bring your left hand with your palm facing out to your right waist or against your back. Your right elbow goes around your lower leg or around your knee. Sit up straight, and again, see if you can slightly pull this in And bring your right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. And drop your chin. Release your right leg. As you breathe in, see if you can rotate right from the shoulder blades more or less, up and look to the ceiling behind you, or the wall behind you. And then as you breathe out, keep the twist, slightly pulling. And then bring it back down. So it's an upper body twist, including the neck. Keeping that alignment with your upper trunk. Release your right leg and come back down. Rotate. Keep your length, feel the sitting bones. It's really a neck rotation, lifting out of the upper trunk. You feel it in the middle spine, upper spine. You do it twice more. And the next time you come down, you stay there for 5 breaths, dropping your chin, moving your forehead closer to your knee, keeping the shoulders down, releasing your leg, and try and relax into that. Not moving your knee out, keep it moving to your right armpit. Extending the back of your neck. Breathe into the belly. Okay, and the other way around. Palm facing out. Start as you head down, release the left leg, toes pointing up. Slowly rotate, mindfully, right from the base of your shoulder blades more or less. Look up. Might feel quite different, mine feels quite different. Opening out, rotating into the crown. Slightly pulling your knee closer to your left armpit. Maybe feel the body. You want to bring movement into it. The energies can flow in different ways in your normal daily life. Twice more dynamically. Unfurling the spine, extending, and then coming back to that twist forward bend. Opening your chest slightly, and then stay in that, dropping your forehead to your face closer to your knee, keeping the knee moving to your armpit, and release your head further forward and down so you get the stretch at the back of your neck. Release your left leg. Feel the breath, whole body awareness. Creating mental space as you integrate the body and the mind. Okay. We're now going to do another neck one, which I know some of you don't find so easy, so use a book if you need it under your head. So you come onto your knees and your hands are going to be behind you like this. And the one is going to come up and the other and so on, with your palms facing out. And then of course you're going to go down in between. So find the right position for your knees, sit up the tummy, bring your hands behind you. Always slightly bringing that in. As you breathe in, bring your right arm up. As you breathe out, come onto the right side of your ear, as close to your thigh as you can. You breathe in, bring the other arm up, and then come onto the left side of you. So you begin to stretch the facets on the one side of your neck as you twist the neck, pulling your shoulders back, your ribs towards your thigh. Breathing in, come up. Breathing out, release, and see how far you can go. Pull the shoulders back. If you find it difficult, put something on the floor. For some people it's too deep. Breath a few more times. It's going to be your last sequence, the next one you do. And then you're going to stay on that right side, but you're going to drop your arms. So your palms are facing up, your elbows are bent. Some people can go closer, bring the sitting bones up. If you can, release your shoulders. They're probably not on the floor, floppy wrists, bum in the air, feet flat. And just take a few breaths there. I've got my ribs against my thigh, but if it's tricky, you take your knees further back and you might find that easier. You should be comfortable. It's really stretching that facet on the left side. And come up and see if you can do it the other way around. Round your shoulder, roll back towards your ear if you can, but otherwise more toward the front of your face. And try and bend your elbows, flop your wrists, sitting bones up, and allow the stretch to develop. Whole body awareness, you should relax into it. If you're not comfortable, simply come into the child pose already. Three more breaths. And then come onto the tip of your forehead. If you can, bring your arms back. Maybe separate your knees more. Maybe more on the tip of your forehead. And allow your whole body and your neck, your shoulders to release. And as you're in this position, you might feel that you become more aware of your back. I certainly do. So see if you can perhaps take your breath more into the whole of your back of your spine. For the next few breaths. Enlivening it. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So another 2 breaths. Okay, now we're going to do another neck one, but you're going to actually do some of those Tibetan rites. So they always open the throat in a way that not many yoga postures do. You know that the Tibetan rites are supposed to make you younger. I always think all the other things we do beyond that we should get much younger than the Tibetan guy, because he only did 4. The first, or 5, because it's the dervishes sort of circling first. Come onto your knees. Maybe have your feet flat, because you want to have your toes curled. Bring your fingertips against the top of your thigh. You feel when you place them there that you contract those muscles slightly. And bring your tummy in. You always drop your chin slightly around your shoulder. You should breathe in, so if you can lift your head, bring it back, slightly bring your shoulders back, but it's not a full coma like that. It's a subtle movement. So breathing in, open out, collarbone, throat, head back, elbows slightly back. Feel how those muscles at the back of your thigh engage. And as you breathe out, come back to your starting position. Very slightly rounding your shoulders. Breathe in. Open the throat. Breathe out, drop. Come back, tummy in. Another 5 times. Facilitating the mobility in your upper neck, trunk region. Energizing it. Okay, I'm going to move on to the Tibetan table. Maybe also sit like this, so you can see where you need to have your feet. If your feet are too close and you come into the Tibetan table, where you also start with your chin like that, if you have them too close, your knees will go beyond your ankle. So you want to have a position where they're not beyond your ankle. So you have to experiment a little bit. I've got short arms, so my hands go further back. Some of you might have to bend your elbows. You straighten up, you drop your chin. As you breathe in, bring your feet towards you, but not too close, that your knees are over your ankles. Lift so you are a table, release your head. Shoulders away from your ears, so you extend that neck. Elbows straight, and then slide back to your starting position with your chin down, with your back straight. Breathing in, put your weight in your hands, find the right position. If you can lift, shoulders away from your ears, rotate the upper arms out, big toe down, and then slide back and drop your chin. Inhalation, you're up. Extend that whole trunk. Exhalation, you're back to where you started, with a straight back, slightly flexed feet. Make sure that your shoulders and your ears move away from each other, which means you rotate the upper arm slightly out. Do it another 3 times. Just allow yourself to release for a moment into a forward bend. You need to bend your knees, bend and press your sitting bones back. Try not to round your upper back. Chest forward, sitting bones back. Bend your elbows and release your head. And if this is where you're at, then allow that to happen. If you can go further, release your head and slowly move into it. And the next one is quite a tricky one for the neck. I always find it hurts me, but then when I stop it goes immediately. And maybe you stay like this again. It's one where the way he does it, I think, having done remedial yoga for many years as I've been trained, it's a strain for a lot of people. It's as you breathe in, you bring your legs up, bring your chin down, and as you breathe out, you go down. That's how it's indicated. I always tell you, and I know that it's for many back, it's much better to do it this way. As you breathe in, you bring your chin to your throat, keep your shoulder blades down, perhaps slightly flex your feet, and then come back. But if you want to do it this way, I know some of you can, it can strain your back. So be aware of that. You've got to really use your core. I would recommend you do it this way. Again, that neck emphasis. Of course, you feel your abdominals here too. 5 more times. Move with the breath. Do an inverted stretch, pull out, flex your feet, lift your heels, grow an inch or 2, and then drop your arms. And allow your head to be heavy as you're allowed to roll a few times from shoulder or side to side. Just allow the back of your head, your skull to release. Try not to force it. Just enjoy that a few more times. And then center, release the shoulder blades, calves are down, allow them to melt into the floor, and take a few breaths, feeling the energy flow in the whole of your body. Feel how spacious you become already. And of course it's what the children call the wave, the up-down dog. And we're going to do it with the toes curled. Moving from an eastern praying position. Your fingers spread close to your heels, on your heels. As you breathe in, the dog with your head up is always the inhalation. Curl your toes, press back, extend. If you can, lift your knees off the floor. If you need to, keep them on the floor. And as you breathe out, come into a dog with your head down, head to the floor. Hands and feet away from each other. Keep your toes curled. As you roll forward, press your palms back, so make sure your hands are not too far forward. Pull the heels back. I rotate the thighs out. Try not to collapse. And as you breathe out, move into a dog with your head down. Armpits and hips toward each other. Look towards your thigh. Press the thigh and the heel back and down. Move with the breath. Open out, rotate the upper arms out, press your inner hand down when you're in the dog with your head down. But in both of them, you rotate the upper arms out. Lengthen. Inhalation, you're up. Exhalation, dog with your head down. Like a wave. Feel your spine. Strengthen your arms. Rotate the upper arms out, lift out of the shoulders, tummy in. Pull your heels back. Extend a bit further each time. Another 3 times. Closer with your head to the floor. Look at your thigh and navel. Last one. Then come into the child pose, and if you want to, you can pause the button and do another 10. Just relax for a moment, either in this position or child pose. Feel the energy flow in the whole of your body. Okay, so now you're going to stand up and start with some squats, which is supposed to be warmed up, as if you're not warmed up already. But it will strengthen your legs, lengthen your back. So feel the sitting bones sort of over your heels, more or less. Your feet centered, reach into your fingers. Just become aware of the right and the left side of your body. And we're going to bring our arms up. I always like to have my feet slightly out. As you breathe out, see how far you can go. You can only go here and come back up if your knees don't like it. But if you can go all the way down, come down and then up. Breathe in as you're up, come down as you breathe out. And keep going. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. If you find it difficult, this is easier. I'd like you to try it this way. Feel your hips, your lower back, your thighs. Definitely will warm you up more. Another 5. And then come into a forward bend of your choice. So if this is the easiest, drop your head, pull your shoulders back, and if you need to, bend your knees. You can bring your hands on the floor, drop your chin. If you can, lift your thigh or bend your knees. If you like your hands underneath your feet, do that one. Or you can interlace your hands behind your calves, release your head. Now your chin to drop. And slowly as you breathe out, come closer to your legs. Now if you've got a lower back that's slightly tight, press your feet as if you stretch your mat sideways. So outwards, but down. And immediately you feel you create more space in your lower back. And then make sure your head is hanging, your shoulders are pulled wider and back. So your neck is released. And take a few more breaths so you can release the breath. Allow it to settle. Another 5 breaths. If you can, move closer to your legs. And come up into an inverted stretch. Always like you're scooping up the air, reaching up, pressing down. And try not to lock your hands but not your body. So you feel your calves extending, your thigh, your waist, your ribs, armpits, elbows, lengthen, and then release. So that's when the disc can absorb more fluids. Forward bends into that extension as you read into the little article that I gave you, the last yoga leaflet. Okay, the next one is the halfway stop, which I think most of you, those of you who come to my classes, will know. Your left foot at 45 degrees at the back of your mat. If you have a mat, there's a little bit of space between them. And ground both your feet and center them. Tummy slightly in. Your right hand goes behind your back, if you can, to the left waist with your palm facing out. So you've got a bit of an anchor there. If you breathe in, come up, slightly back. You can do a split breath as you come forward and down, veering to the right. Wherever you can reach, it can be there, there, there. Then as you breathe in, extend, just stay parallel. And then as you breathe out, go deeper into that stretch. You can get that deeper. Press into your foot, so it's quite strong into that right leg. Right hip back, left hip forward. Split breath as you come forward and down. You can do that screwing off the jaw with your feet. Might help, those of you who know how to do that. Strong on the front leg, slight back bend, tummy in. Split breaths as you veer to the right. And release your head. Halfway extension. Twice more dynamically. Whole body awareness. Keep your foot centered. The last one dynamically. And then we're going to stay. Into that stretch. If you can bring your hand to the floor, it's easier. If you need to bend your knee slightly, do so. Try and release your head. Right hip back, left hip forward. Bring your head closer to the shin. Perhaps slightly bend your knee or straighten it. Keep your shoulders back. And slowly move deeper into that stretch. Another full breath. Getting to the hamstring, getting to the hip on the right side. Okay, so now you feel quite lopsided. You have to do the other way around. Left hand to your right waist. Bring your right arm up, tummy in. Split breath as you veer to the left and place your hand where you can reach. Now bring your arm and your head up, parallel to the floor if possible, left to back, right to back, forward, and your inner thighs closer. And then release closer to your shin. And feel the tightness of your left hamstring. Split breath as you go to the left. Slight balance, so keep your balance. A lot of pressure into that left foot to keep your balance. Tummy in as you come slightly up and back. Veer to the left, split breath. And release your head and your shoulders closer to your left shin and knee, wherever you are. Bend the knee if you need to. Split breath. Whole body awareness. Extend. Twice more dynamically. Nice deep breath. Open your chest. Tummy in when you go back. Last one, and you hold it. Lift the back, right hip forward, inner thighs closer will help. And then ease into that. Release your head, shoulders back, move closer to your left knee. Breathe. Another full breath. Then you need to come up and bring your feet quite wide, as they are. Bring your hands either with your feet like that, so you can come into a back bend and then forward bend, or put them on your hips. You do that a few times. Tummy in, dig your heels in, head up and back, and then you can do a split breath, so just release on an exhalation. Head up first. Twice more. You can either fold your arms, release your head, you can take your hands to your ankles and bend your elbows. You can put your hands through the arches, some of you really like doing. So take your hands back, bend your elbows backwards, and if you like, take your head to the floor and reach into your feet. Or keep your head slightly up, or keep your forearms on the floor. You want to get to the inner thighs. So pull the elbows back. Forward, heel toe your feet closer. And once again, come into an inverted stretch. Okay, now we're going to do 3 trees. The first tree, I think you can all do it, and I'll give you some other options, those of you who find the other one difficult. So, you all know how we do a tree. You bring your foot up, either lower than the knee or above the knee. The most important instruction always is to keep your hip, shoulder one above the other. So if I push my knee out too far like I'm doing now, then my hips and my shoulders are not aligned. So I need to press quite firmly always, the foot and the thigh into each other, extend, and you could do the tree like this. Sorry. Or you can bring your arms up once you're in it. So keep pressing, lift. And for people with shoulder problems, it's easier to have your arms parallel. But if you can't, if you can bring your palms together, straighten the elbows, perhaps fix your gaze, and really imagine that somebody's pulling you, grounding your foot, tummy in, armpits forward, elbows back, or rotate the upper arms slightly in. And feel that extension that really lifts your whole thoracic or rib cage area. Might be wobbly. And from there you can, for a moment, come, this is actually the 4th tree, into a side stretch slightly, don't go too far. Extend that right side into your fingertips. And hold. And from there, we're going to try the other side. Which might be more difficult. I always find the left side is weaker. And for balancing you need strong support. So try it. Open out, keep that alignment, either with your hands in the prayer position. If you feel, you can bring your arms right up, perhaps fix your gaze. Extend, straighten the elbows to keep your arms parallel, or hold the opposite wrist with your hand. Oops. If you fall, come back into it. Find your center. Grow, straighten those armpits, lift them, but release your shoulders. And then once again, try and come into that side stretch. Sorry, did it this morning without falling. Actually, not now. helps to fix your gaze, drop your shoulders, extend that left side into your fingers. And then slowly come down. So that's a familiar tree, and you can do that again if you want to practice it. Or you can try and do what we call the half lotus tree, which for some of you is actually easier. So take your right hand to your left foot, push that knee away and straighten up. So far it's easier. Bring your left hand into your right inner elbow, push your knee down and hold that. Now some of you will be able to take your fingers around your toes and then come up. Only do it if your left hand can go to your left foot. You can extend like that. Now if your foot will stay, and you can stay up, but if your foot will stay in that position, if it goes lower it will cut off your blood supply. Now very slowly, you don't want to fall into it, if you can help it. Come forward and down, and then see if you can bring your head closer to your shin or your knee. Walk your hand closer to the foot, or stay up. Release your head in. My foot is really comfortably in that groin, so it doesn't hurt my thigh, but if it would be lower, it would. Bend your knee, and it's the coming up, it can be quite tricky if you want to come back into that position. And then slowly release. I'm going to try the other side. So see if you can come into the half lotus, or do the ordinary tree if you find this too much. So if you can take your hand, I'll do the regular one, where you bring your right hand into your left inner elbow. This side is stiffer for me as well. And then hold that foot there, straighten up, drop your knee, and see if you can find your equilibrium. And if your foot can stay there, don't. If it can't, slowly release your arms and see if you can find your way down. Maybe do it along the wall. And bring your hands to the floor, release your head. You can stay there for a few breaths. If you can come closer to the leg, you don't want to cut off your blood supply if the foot is too low. Very carefully bend your knee and see if you can come up in one piece. And then hold it for another breath. Drop your knee and release. So those are trees. Now there's another one. And for some people that really is difficult, but you can use the wall. It's always good to do yoga somewhere near a wall. So if you really find it tricky, then rather do this one, where your tummy is in, your shoulders are back, and you can keep that knee up. You can also bring it, up and down. It's not so easy. Maybe fix your gaze. Otherwise we're going to do a twist. I call it a twist tree. It's really not a tree, but it's more linked to the paradise bird, which you're going to master this year still, but not today. So bring your left leg up, start on your right leg, it's usually the stronger one. See if you can wrap your arm around it, bend the elbow, palm facing out, and if you're lucky, like I am, you can take hold of the hand and then create a twist. If not, keep a gap there. Maybe you should face in this way that you can see. If you bring this left knee up, you can have a gap like that. I find it easier, to hold my hand. Once you're in it, you try and twist by taking the front shoulder further forward and the back shoulder further back. Press into your right foot, extend into the crown. You get quite a chest opener as well on the right. Try it once more on the other side, or do the lifting of your knee. Try and keep that leg in place, and maybe that's enough. I often tell you, and I forgot, you can also do it like that if you really find it difficult. Try and stay at that position. Once you're in it, try and twist, bring the back shoulder further back, keep your chest up, extend into the crown. For a moment, just release your back after that. shake your legs. And it's time, because it is full moon before Easter this week. Very significant moon, as you know. To do the salute to the moon. Salute to the moon, there are quite a few versions. This one we do once or twice a year. And I must say, when I've been looking at the moon the last 2 days, even the whole last week, I always see this beautiful Venus as well, just arising in the same spot above the mountain. So they're together very beautiful at the moment. And the skies are clear. So as you breathe in, come up, slightly back, tummy in. As you breathe out, come into a forward bend. Always bend your knees if you need to. Stepping back with your right foot, keep it at 45 degrees, and then come into this lunge without pushing your knee in. Stay there. As you breathe in, bring your arms up, and then come into Eastern praying position with your toes curled as you breathe out. Step forward again with your right foot, back into the lunge and arrive. Pause, in other words. As you breathe in, come up. As you breathe out, you come into a dog with your head up, the kind of wave one with your toes curled. As you breathe in, drop your knees. As you breathe out, round your back, and come onto the tip of your forehead and adjust your hands. Relax. Breathing in, come up, slightly back. If you can sit in heels, otherwise stay up. And breathing out, bring your fingertips to the floor. Push up, it's the more elegant version. As you breathe in and out, you come back to where you started, and center. Breathe in, come back, tummy in, look up. Breathing the moon, breathing out, come into a forward bend. This time you step back with your left foot, come into the lunge, and arrive. Breathing in, bring your arms up. Breathing out, come into the Eastern praying position with your toes curled. As you breathe in, step forward with your left foot, knee over your ankle, center. And as you breathe in, come up. And as you breathe out, come into the dog with your head up. Extend in both directions, lift out of the shoulders. Knees off the floor. As you breathe in, drop your knees on the floor. And as you breathe out, come into that Eastern praying position with the tip of your forehead and relax. Keep your toes curled as you breathe in, either on or off your heels. And as you breathe out, bring your fingertips to the floor. Push up, step, step, center. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, come down. Step back with your right leg into the lunge and hold. Breathing in, arms up. Breathing out, Eastern praying position with your toes curled. Extend in both directions. Breathing in, step forward. Breathing out, arrive. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, dog with your head up variation. Lift out of the shoulder, tummy in. As you breathe in, drop your knees. As you breathe out, round your back and bring the tip of your forehead towards or on the floor. Breathing in, come up. If you need to come up like that, otherwise sit in your heels. And breathe out, bring your fingers there. Push up, step, step, center. Breathe in, come up, back bend. Forward bend as you breathe out. Step back with your left leg and lunge, center. Breathe in, bring your arms up. Breathe out, come into an Eastern praying position with your toes curled. Step forward with your left foot as you breathe in. And arrive as you breathe out, hold. Arms up as you breathe in. Come into the dog with your head up as you breathe out. As you breathe in, drop your knees. And as you breathe out, come into that Eastern praying position. Push up as you breathe in. Bring your fingertips and thumb to the floor. Push up as you breathe in. Step, step, center. I'm going to just do it now without talking for another 2 rounds and see if you can do it without me talking. You think that'll work? It's right foot back. Right foot forward. Left foot back. We'll do it for the last sequence. Creating that moon, perhaps including the Venus. So we're going to continue now as a flow, and the most important thing about simple flows like they're not that simple, so you can manage it, you need to manage it with the breath. So it's not about perfection, it's flowing with the breath. Eyes open, and I'll ask you to keep your eyes closed if you don't get dizzy or fall over. So as you breathe in, turn your right foot out, your arms up. As you breathe out, triangle on the right, shoulder blades armpits down. As you breathe in, come into the warrior, pull your heels in, radiate. As you breathe out, swing the left arm up, right hand to fingertips on the floor, and extend that left side. Breathing in, come up. Breathing out, center. Breathing in, lift your arms. Breathing out, triangle on the left, reach into your fingers, then spread, armpits down. Breathing in, come into the warrior, press your heels in. As you breathe out, swing your left arm up, and bring it slightly higher. And come back as you breathe in. And arrive as you breathe out. Notice your own breathing. So my breathing might be too fast. One more time with your eyes open. Feel the breath, allow the breath to lead you into the posture. And then see if you can do it with your eyes closed, not if you're going to faint or anything like that, but if you can. I'm going to do one more sequence. You can already feel how calm your brain gets, how centered you become as you feel that spaciousness in your body. It moves the breath like a pendulum. Whole body awareness. And center and open your eyes when you're finished. Integrating that right-left, which is always slightly different. Okay, now it's a warrior. In the last week, or the week before the last week, we had not so many people. So we did one which I quite like, and I want to repeat it. And it is the two warriors. Now when people do warriors, I don't want to see dancers. I've got some really beautiful dancers amongst you, and I want you to be a warrior. So we're going to start with this warrior, the number 2, where you always press your heels in, your back foot is slightly in, you're not leaning in any direction. You pull the heels in and down, and that should ground and give you that support, because now your core is slightly activated. And only go as far as you can. So if you can go too far, it might be too tricky, but find a position where you can manage. And then radiate, keeping the heels in, shoulders down. And it's like you're moving in infinitude with your arms. Your shoulders are down. Commanding space. Remember, you're a warrior. You're grounded, you're strong, you're centered. And then turn those palms up as if you're holding a gift. Now you're going to turn the back palm up, turn it inwards. Shift your weight to the front leg, and slowly holding those gifts, I've sort of likened this posture to a hermit. Rotate the left thigh in, hold those gifts, and find your horizontal. Extending in both hands. Rotate the left thigh in, and slowly come back, and just feel how different your right and your left side are. Take a breath in between. I'm going to do the same. A large step, if you can. Keep your knee aligned, never bring it in. Pull those heels in, so you begin to activate your lower trunk, not necessarily perineum, and then radiate from the sternum outwards. It's like you're commanding space. Center, fix your gaze, pull the heels in, drop your shoulders. Become powerful, empowered. And then turn your palms up. Hold those gifts. Rotate the back hand so the palm faces up. And see if you can shift, maybe do it in stages. And slowly, and if you need to stop here, then you stop here. If you can rotate the back thigh in, and extend into the back heel and hold those gifts. Find that equilibrium, fix your gaze, and slowly come back. And take a few breaths in between. Back into that powerful, centered, alert, strong warrior. Pull your heels in. Command your space. Open your heart. Radiate as strongly in the back as you do in the front. Turn your palms up as if you're holding some gift. Turn the back hand in. Shift your weight. If you can do it in one fell swoop, otherwise in bits. And reach into those hands. Find your horizontal. Use your foot higher than you think. Left thigh in. Slowly come back. And take a few breaths in between. Feel how lopsided your body might feel now. Other way around. So you can activate those heels, keep your knee aligned, tummy slightly engaged, and really feel that your sternum reaches out, as if it's moving into infinitude with your energy, dropping your shoulder, looking beyond your front hand. But don't drop your lower, your back arm backwards. Then hold those gifts. Turn your right hand slightly in, hold that gift, and see if you can shift your weight And keep that centeredness as you slowly drop your chest, maybe bend your knees slightly, and find that horizontal position. Taking your gifts in space, it's a bit like a Superman. Slowly come back. I think that's probably enough. So release into child pose, release to praying position, and relax totally. Now your back, your shoulders, your wrist to release. Take a few breaths and you let go in that position. Now I usually in all my classes actually do something on toes. I haven't done it. But again, I'm doing one which I did in the last week. I think there were at most 6 or 8 people here. So I'm going to repeat that, and for some people that's not possible because of their needs. In which case you do a butterfly. You all know how to do butterflies. Maybe do that. But I'd like you to bring the soles of your feet together. Keep your heels together and take your knees as wide as you can. And see if you can lift a little bit off the heels or sit on the back of your heels. Soles of your feet are together and you bring your arms up. And it's like you raise that thoracic region. Elbows back, armpits forward. Perhaps come off your heels. Be pressing into your knees now. Looks a bit like the statue I have in the sitting room, those who have noticed it. So you can hold that. Pressing into your knees if your knees can take it, otherwise a butterfly. Extend it almost like somebody's pulling you. Take a few breaths in that position. If you can lift the arms higher. Three more breaths. Press those feet together. So not strictly speaking on your toes, but it is approaching it. And then we're going to take the big toes together and take your hands to the inside of your fingers to the inside of your heels and pull them back so that you actually sit in a bowl, pull your knees out. And it's for most people remarkably comfortable. You wouldn't expect it. Big toes together, your heels are sort of beyond your sitting bones. And just relax for a few breaths totally. Take a few nice deep breaths. Drop into it. Getting the stretch in different places. And then we're going to walk our hands forward, not too far, so that when you come forward, spread the fingers, your shoulders and your collarbone are beyond your wrist and you press back. And so you push your hip forward, lift your head, rotate the upper arm slightly out and drop the hips forward and down and keep the big toe on the floor. It's a bit like the reverse butterfly. Push hips forward, chest up, press back with your palms, big toe on the floor. And then we're going to simply come back into that bowl, taking your fingers on the inside of your heel. You probably can go, I can go a little bit further, I'm more comfortable now. And take a few breaths in that position. One more time, coming forward, pressing back into your palms, collarbones beyond, keep your big toes together. Drop your hip, you can drop a little bit further. Look up, rotate the upper arms out. Drop the hips further, big toes on the floor. Feel the groin stretching. Breathe comfortably. Keep the toes on the floor until you can move back into that bowl, taking your fingers to the inside of your heels and perhaps even further down. And just take a few breaths because I know you'll enjoy it. But I'm very glad that I'm not going to hear the moaning in the next one. But I've decided to do it because I know how I need it and how stiff my quads have become by doing less yoga than I normally do. So you know what's coming. You need towels, jerseys, blankets, I don't mind. But you need to find a wall or a cupboard. And you're going to do the quadricep. stretch. Okay, so if you find a bit of wall covered, and you're not like Sylvia, who couldn't find any in her house, if you remember the Sylvia moment. So see if you can bring your left knee against the wall, your foot against it, and come here. Now some of you will feel it here, and apparently you're in agony here. So don't stop here. If you can come further up, come up, press into that front foot, bring it a bit closer. If you feel it here, and try not to lean forward, but stay as upright as you can, you may feel it, and maybe enough. It's a stretch that responds very well. If you can go further back, stop here. If you can really bring your lower back against the wall. Now I do feel it a lot. Try not to bring your knee in, keep it there. You could press your lower back against the wall if you need to. If you feel it without, you don't. And if you're quite comfortable, like I know two of you are, you could do it this way. Bring your tummy in and press your sacrum against the wall. And smile. And breathe into that quad. If you breathe into it, you might feel it release a bit easier. Full breath. And we need to do the other side. So using all your cloths, towels and jerseys, if you need to. Which is always a bit of a delay technique or tactic, and see if you can get into it. The right side, so it might be tighter. Press your back down if you're comfortable. Bring your arms up. Breathe. Focus on the thigh muscles. Breathe into them to facilitate the stretch. Another 4 or 5 breaths. And let go. You're going to do it again, and you'll find that the second time it definitely is slightly easier. Not be very slightly, but it is easier. So it does respond. So try it. Make sure your foot is on the outside of your hip. And if you can, if you need to stop here. If you can, come back. Maybe more of your shoulder blades and your lower back into the wall. I've definitely found I can push more of my back into the wall. Breathe, whole body awareness. Feel the yielding of that thigh. Lift. Five more breaths. Breathe into the thigh. Well done. One more side to go. Foot on the outside. You can have your hands on your thigh, you can push back. You can ground that or press back with your sacrum if you can, or even your waist. And if you want to bring your arms up, stay as you are. breathing, working at it. Whole body awareness, natural breath. Feel the effect. Stay with the edge of the stretch. Allow it to dissipate. Five more breaths. Excellent. For many that might have been the worst posture till now. Okay, now we're going to do the camel because now our thighs are a little bit warmed up. It's a bit of a back bend. Some of you very comfortable and some of you find the camel quite difficult. So zip up your abdominals, keep your hip over your knee, don't go back like this. Keep your toes curled. And then always bring your navel up, your ribs up, and don't just go back. So you can lift the whole rib cage, bring your head back and take your middle finger to your, we do the half one first, to your heel and raise your left arm. Bring your chest up and then your head back. Change your arm. Lift the navel, the ribs, the collarbone. Tummy slightly in the back bend. And this may be enough for you. You can also take your fist here, lift again, bring your collarbone, your head up and back, your elbows back. And stop there and come into a counter stretch if you need to. If you're comfortable, you could take your right hand to your heel, lift, try not to go back like that. So the idea is to keep your alignment of your knee and your hip, and then bring your left arm up and back, which will lift the upper trunk a bit more. Slowly release your head. Keep your hip over your knee. Get some more shallow breaths, release your neck. Tummy in. And open your chest. Breathe into it. First time is always a bit kind of stiff, at least for me, and come back into a counter stretch. Now some of you might prefer the Iyengar one, where you take your thighs against the wall, you press your thighs and your pubic bone against the wall, and maybe bring your arms back like that, where I'm doing it. Slowly releasing your head, pushing your hips and your thigh forward and down. A bit more claustrophobic, but you have something to resist against, which for some people it helps with the alignment. Then of course there is the flat-footed one, which gives you a different angle and it can actually be easier. So again, zip up the tummy, bring your navel up, your collarbone up, your head back, and then bring your one arm like that. If you prefer, release and press your shins down. Release your head and breathe. Hardly need to breathe in that one. Use your core when you come out of it, in between into a counter stretch. And see if you can do that once again, whichever one you want to do. You can also do the half one, you can do this one, or you can move your arms back, lift the chest, head back, and release into that. Very good one for the discs. Absorb the fluid, as I said to you, during the day we lose about 2 centimeters. of the spinal length. Now to come out of it as a counter stretch, I'll give you several options. You can do the tortoiseshell, where you bring your hands to the top of your feet and come onto your elbows and simply release your head. Now if you want to do the proper tortoiseshell, then you could take your hands like that, so your legs are above your elbows, and take your feet closer together and release your arms and bring your head down, slowly moving deeper into it, wriggling your way into it, tip of your forehead on the floor. Some of you may want to bring your palms facing up to the small of your back and bring your fingers together, and bring your feet closer together and your head on the floor. Stay there for a few more breaths. And then as you come out of it, which is a little bit more tricky, separate your feet, wriggle and shake your legs. We're going to do a simple twist first. Firstly, so that you move from the base of the spine into a flowing twist. And then we do a stronger one. So if you can sit on your knees, sit on your knees. If you can't sit cross-legged, it doesn't matter. If you need a foam or a jersey or something between your heels and your sitting bones, place it there and center and bring your hands together. You're going to attempt to move the spine from the base of the spine. Often when you do this, you do just here. It's the shoulders that work. You want to initiate the twist from the base of the spine. So it's much more smaller, it's more subtle, but in the end you can feel that the whole spine is moving as a unit. So as you move, as you breathe in, you go to the right, pretend you press the right hip forward. It will stay in its own position, but you move it in the opposite direction, which will make the twist more effective. And then slowly come back. As you breathe in, go to the left, or maybe as you breathe in, go to the left, and as you breathe out, come back, pushing that left hip forward. Backwards. So as you go to the right, push your hip forward, pause, keep the length, and feel that you begin to engage that lower back spine. And you're not moving from the hip. You're initiating it as you push your left hip forward. Seems the best that you move into the twist on the inhalation. Pause for a second. The right hip forward, get the upper trunk and the whole spine moves to the right. Feel that you move from the base of the spine to the back of your neck, even to the crown. And explore that. You begin to get that undulation in your spine, a subtle undulation. Not just the shoulders. You initiate the movement from the spine, so it's about awareness. Hip forward. And you begin to free that lower back a little bit more. Hip forward, twist, extend into the crown. Keep that extension in your spine. It's very subtle, but it begins to breathe much more and move in a fluent, undulating way. Always imagine that your hip goes forward as your arms and your hands go in the opposite direction of the hip. Whole body awareness. 2 more sequences. Feel that you have created more space between the vertebrae. And just sit for a moment and feel the effect. Taking a few comfortable breaths in between. And the other twist, and you can do it in stages if you like. Some of you are very good at it, so yeah, if you need it for this one, you might need a strap. You bring your right foot forward, with your knee over your ankle, and you slide your left knee further back so that you're not on the patella, not on the bony bit of your knee, but just above it on the thigh. And then you take your right hand to your left foot, or you keep it down if you can't reach, and see if you can catch it. Now some people can twist like this. Officially you could put something underneath your forearm. You're going to rotate left shoulder in, you want to bring your right knee out and bring it in. And then bring your right shoulder over your left, extend into the crown, and if you want to either push your foot back or bring your foot closer. Try and keep that knee in, rotate, right shoulder up, breathe. And then release. I'll do it the other way so you can see it from here. Put something underneath your knee if you're sensitive, keep your foot down, or keep your right arm straight, all those different options. You're going to bend your right knee and slide above the knee, so I don't feel it now, because I'm above the knee on the thigh. And then either twist like this, or if you can, do it this way, and if you can't, lift the foot and keep it down. Let's see if you can bring your right shoulder in, left shoulder higher, extend, push your left knee closer to your chest and rotate a bit more. Broaden your back, extend into the crown. Breathe. One more time each side. Bring that knee in. Let go, and once more the other way around. Make sure you're not on the knee itself, above it, put something under it. You should do it once more the other way around. You could bring your foot closer, but you can keep it back as well. Extend into the crown, rotate, left knee in. Another 3-4 breaths. And then for a moment, release into a forward bend of your choice. So some of you may want to sit on a firm, bend your knees, sit as flat as you can. I always say if I've got fleshy bits, you all have to as well. And then come forward. Now if you feel it here, bring your chest forward, armpits down, and release your head. If you can, take your hands further forward, bring your elbows down, chest forward, sitting bones back, and release your head. The last, but don't do this, because that does nothing for you, for your back or your hamstring. Now if you can take your hands around there, and press the back of your legs, sitting bones back, and bring your chest up, and then release. You can do it that way. Take some nice deep breath into that. If you can, press the back of your legs down, release your head, keep your knees bent to get more of a back stretch. And use your exhalations to surrender, perhaps rotate the thighs slightly in. Allow the back to lengthen, your hamstring to extend, your lower back to lengthen as you press your sitting bones back, chest forward. Nice deep breath, make it another 8. Try not to force, just release. we've completed that, come onto your back. You haven't done any circling of the knees. So, see if you can bring your hands on your knees and just circle them. Explore that sacrum. You can do it asymmetrically. You can do them together. You can bring one away, one closer. And allow your lower back to respond by releasing it. Keep it relaxed. It's like you massage it a bit. Explore the whole sacrum region. Do little zigzags, you can do different motions, figure eights. Okay, so you're going to now into well-deserved total relaxation, and you may want to get a blanket, a jersey, socks, something underneath your head, something underneath your knees. So see if you can get what you need to, and then really lie down and release your body totally. So observe your right and your left side, so you're not leaning to the left or to the right. Make sure your head is not back, that your chin is too high. Connect the thumb and the index finger lightly, and perhaps separate your feet a little, that your joints can release. Your toes drop to the side, your knees come slightly up, your belly is protruding. And feel that your back is supported. Once you're centered and released, begin to take comfortable yoga breath. You don't have any pauses. You breathe continuously without forcing. Imagine that you take a wave of air as you breathe in, expand slightly, and as you breathe out, a wave of air goes back out. Keep doing that. Imagine the sea, and see how the wave separates from the ocean and then goes back into it. It's exactly the same as our breath. We breathe, take our breath from the universe, from the area around us, and then we take it into the body and then release it back into it. So become part of that rhythmic expanding, drawing the breath into your body. Feel it rejuvenating the cells, and then as you breathe out, come back down. Quieten your mind and feel that for a few more breaths. Very slight resistance at the back of your throat. Empty your mind of everything else. Keep it comfortable within your comfortable capacity without straining. Perhaps slowly beginning to deepen and slowing down the breath. And see if you can feel the imprint your body makes as you become more spacious, heavy and relaxed, but at the same time you also feel that buoyancy of your vitality increasing. Becoming part of that rhythmic pattern of the breath that informs you. Feeling the vitality, that life pulse is in you, and ride it like a wave. Another 4 times. Create an even breath, same strength for the in and the exhalation. Allow your breath to settle in its natural, comfortable zone. You no longer need to direct it. Just allow it to be where it's comfortable. But stay with that expanded experience of the body and the electromagnetic field around it. Your infinite intelligence extends beyond your body. And feel that expansive boundlessness of your spiritual nature, your true nature, your quantum wave nature. Transcending that chattering mind, the busy mind, to a still point of awareness. We call it the witness. Simply witnessing yourself in the moment as it is, moment to moment, becoming boundless, radiant and whole as you raise your vibration to a sense of wholeness or gratitude, equanimity. And see if you can stay in that moment-to-moment space. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, but to remain in the present moment as it is, accessing that deeper sense of self. See if you can stay in that expansive state, accessing literally the divinity within you as you allow your mind to flow with the music in harmony while your body rests totally. feel your body again as you slowly ground yourself back into this room. Take a nice deep breath in and out of your heart. Begin to move your fingers and your toes. Perhaps roll your head a little bit. And either roll onto your side or bring your knees to your chest. Feeling the weight of your body, the warmth of your body. And you can come into an upright position. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you practice well. I found this a difficult class myself. I did it twice this morning, so I can feel it. Thank you.